We have some explanation for that. We have none. Don't worry. Continue your program. Oh boy, it's really something super fantastic here. You couldn't ever imagine this. Roger. We know about that. Could you go the other way? Go back the other way.
Good evening, everyone. I welcome you to the world's biggest digital space conference this year, organized by SDNx and Helium Learning Labs. My name is Sakshi, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Space Development Nexus and your host for today. This year's theme, the role of space education and research in emerging nations, was adopted to put a spotlight on the space activities in emerging nations and empower them further. We expect that through this summit, the students and young space professionals can get guidance with their education and career. SDNx Foundation was established in the year 2013 with the purpose of making space accessible to everyone through its initiatives and educational projects supported by space research and development. Helium Learning Labs, who are our organizing partner, are an edtech company that aims to establish a world-class digital space school to fill the gap between the space education and the global space industry, to train students for the future space workforce. Now, introducing our speaker for today, Dr. Muhire Desire, who has a bachelor's degree in Information and Communication Science and Technology, a master's degree in Materials and Radiation, and a doctorate in Physics and Engineering. His research interests include optoelectronics, photonics, communication, signal processing, parameter estimation, and computer vision. He is also interested in CubeSat communication using photonic system where he leads the SGSE and SSPG Lasercom project. He is also interested in the application of satellite in addressing developing countries' issues. And he is also the national point of contact for SGSE for Rwanda. Thank you, Mr. Desire, for joining us in this session in Global Space Summit. Please go ahead with your presentation and introduce
Yeah,
yourself to the audience.
yeah, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for giving me this opportunity to share with you like my ideas, my point of views about the role of space in Africa, especially in Africa and the space economy. So first of all, I will start by talking a little bit about the many challenges in Africa and how this challenge can be turned into opportunities. So by the year of the 2050, the population will grow by twice. So which means that the population will be increasing, and also this population will be more. The half will be more less under 25 ages. So this means that that these people needs really to be prepared and also be empowered to be able to enter into the market of Africa. However, at the same time, if nothing is done, this population will be struggling again by job losses and famine and all kinds of things. So that's why we need really opportunities and also challenges and also discussions about what can be done to address that issue. So first of all, I will also say that the Africa is really the continent of potential. There is very full of potential. This is really something that is well known. We have a lot of lands. We have a lot of resources. We have also human resources. But all these people, the well-known challenges is really the capacity building, really the misuse, and also all other challenges that are known. But with the aid of satellites, computer vision, robotics, and also machine learning and space through education, we this continent can be made better. So that's why, for example, when you take about, for example, the agriculture, we have like a more like up to 50 and 60% of the world arable land is in Africa, which means that Africa itself can nourish itself and the world. But Africa still have like among like more than 200 million of people that were undernourished in 2019. So which means that really there is really like dissonance between what Africa can do and what is done, and that's why several partnership may help. So SGS is one of the NGO which is really helping in Africa, is really playing is really one of the key player in Africa. And so it has been in Rwanda since 2018. I think I was the NPoC or initiator. And also Rwanda is also a very good country that's really growing up to like 9% of GDP in 2019, so before the COVID. But it's also tried to really to have its own satellites among like the Rwasat, and also it has also its own space agency, Rwanda Space Agency, which is open recently. And it's really one of the main idea that really has been shared online, whether by news, is really the increasing the engineering capability. That's why it's really something that can be added, and something, it's really one of the doors to really any opportunities on the continent is really welcome, whether in within engineering capabilities and other things. So and then for space business opportunities, there's I think the one main thing is really capacity building. How can Africa make its own like a space activities by themselves, using like few resources, and also the people they have, and also how can also use machinery and space for agriculture to address this population that will double in 30 years. And also from that, I think also space also can be used to build really a new space in like sector, which is like space and agribusiness. And we need really people who really are capable to use satellites, and also use their business education to develop really new supply chains for these products that will be developed in Africa. And also, why not why not Africa may have its own commercial space, increase also and also try to really to contribute to the world development. So these are really like my concern, and also opportunities that are around in the continent of Africa and in Rwanda. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Zai. Thank you for those insights. And I think I'll just go ahead. I think we were expecting a presentation from your side, but that's completely all right. Just go ahead, and I will just go ahead and with my interview, and just ask you a few questions about the space industry and whatever is going on, in Rwanda right now. So, what can be done to improvise space education in developing nations like Rwanda? Are there any activities or outreach activities that have been going on, to bring awareness in the country right now?
Yeah, thank you. So I think for Africa or other developing countries, with the rise of internet, we really have access to the knowledge. But the technical side, the technical activities where people can develop, small CRIPSAT missions on hand. I think that's really one of the things that we lack. Kind of contribute to the system education that is around by practical activities and mission design kind of things. Yeah, thank you.
And as we approach to the new space age, the commercial space is growing more than ever, right? And
Yeah.
is there a growth in Rwanda in the commercial sector with the hype of the new space age? For example, as we have got into a phase where space tourism had become a reality, and also with Elon Musk and even Rocket Lab missions, and all of these big players coming in the picture from the spacefaring nation. So has that affected the commercial sector in Rwanda as well? Is there any more developments that have happened in recent years?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because one of the way is really the one web mission, which I know like is being used to for communication. And it has been really there's one mission one that has been used to connect remote region. I think for me that is one of the things that our Africa will be relying on to really how can this CubeSat constellations can be used to to connect people. I think this is really where something really keep that Africa is benefiting from. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Great. And space is used for a lot of purposes. And you mentioned, when you were talking that the biggest the population is growing, and by 2050, it's gonna be double, or it becomes really hard for a country with more population to cope up with the general issues, like agriculture. And then that's where space comes into picture, right? So with satellites and all of these things. So what kind of other space applications do you think that can be expanded in Rwanda, except agriculture, that can be used for the population in Rwanda? For example, maybe climate change, or maybe some other things, that observation from satellites, or something other than that, that can be expanded to applications.
Uh, yeah, thank you. I think one of the reasons I have already talked about, agriculture is because I know, like in Rwanda, like more than 80% of people do agriculture. So usually in Africa, people are more in agriculture, but they're not efficient. So that's one of the way satellite can help. But also satellites are used, even to address floods and all other disasters. I think the application of space are really welcome in Africa in all its ways, and every application that can be done in Africa is really welcome because a few people are doing this. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Rizaya. And as you mentioned, that population is a big factor in any developing nation, even in India. We have this factor that a lot of things, we hold back because of the population of India. For example, our literacy rate, although it is growing now, with the usage of technology and digital education, introduction of edtech companies and whatnot. But do you think that collaboration with more developed countries, like the United States, a spacefaring nation, like any European and other European countries, can benefit developing nations like Rwanda, or any another African developing nations in the long term? Or has there any projects that you remember had been done in a collaborative manner?
Yeah, of course. I think that there is a lot of collaboration, especially with the European Space Agency or NASA, whether in data transfer and also technology transfer. But I think for me, I think there's something that needs to be done, not only to look at big nations, but look at really India, which is also a big nation, especially of how India developed like its own space agency with especially like reduced cost. I think this is something that really developing countries can learn from, because we when you talk about space launch, space mission is really a lot of money, and even there's developing countries are still struggling with the basics. So having this experience from big nation to developing countries, but also from developing countries, from the experiences, it's much easier to learn from someone who went through something than just because NASA has been there for since long. The thing that may be easier with if really also developing countries share the technology, share the experiences. Of course, we need big countries. We need free rides sometimes, but it's really also something to really to talk about how these countries, developing countries, can help each other to reach their goals. Yeah.
No, definitely, I agree with you completely. I think it's very important, if you really want to create an ecosystem for space ecosystem. We need to be open to ideas and open to collaborations, and
Yeah.
also bring more outreach and science communication and space education activities, not only to the African countries, but also other developing South Asian developing nations, Asia Pacific developing nations. And that is how we are going to grow our ecosystem, and we will be ready for the future. And if and what kind of career advice or suggestion you would like to give to students and young professionals watching your session, like how as you are a space professional right now, and you have such a great experience in the space industry. So what kind of career advice or suggestion you would like to give the students who are watching this session today?
Yeah, so thank you. I think that is one of the skills, computer science. I think this is really everything's being done with computers, and then this skill we change, but also openness, because I think there will be too much shift with for example, when you talk about phonics, quantum communication, quantum internet. This is something that doesn't only just require you to be an engineer, but to be open, to know really bit this physics, to really understand the concept. And with this shift, because as technology is really going faster, so people need also to have that kind of like full openness to hard sciences like quantum communication, so that they may expect at least to get through the sector. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to ask you, some fun questions as well. I hope that you watched the launch yesterday for Virgin Galactic that happened. Such an exciting time for all of us as space
Yeah.
tourism is
Mm.
here. So what was your perspective, and how do you think it's going to change us as as a what could be change in the culture, and how it's going to change the whole industry, and what's going to happen next, like in your opinion?
Yeah, so I think that it's really like a step to the moon. I think it's going to shift how people view space, and also going to open also another sector that at is like it was known to be like it's nothing. From being an astronaut was something like very difficult when you see the process, but now it's going to be something that accessible. But I think also it's going also to help develop new technologies, especially to help people. Other people are going for sure going to try to have their own companies, and it's really open, to new technologies, but also help, going to Mars. Why not? Because the more we approach space, the more we develop technology to get further. Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
Definitely, and I think once we become multi-planetary species with the efforts by Elon Musk, then it's going to change us forever as a
Totally. Yeah.
community, and
Mm.
we cannot imagine like what kind of things that can happen. So, just talking about the careers as well, I'm just trying to expand this interview and just get as much as insights as we can from you.
Mm.
But as terms of careers that is going to come in the new space age, as we know that space is for everyone,
Mm.
and it is changing because there are a lot of new careers that are coming up as well. And right now, the most popular one is space law policy, or astrobiology is becoming the next big thing. So what kind of careers are you excited for, and what do you think there should be more development in? What field should be there more development in the space industry?
Yeah, I think like coming back a little bit to like a biology, as you say. I think how people are trying, even to the international space, how people do their cycle of water, I think this technology are very useful, and I think they're not only used for space, but also for the earth, because one also the thing that in future they'll be facing is really water issues. So I think that we really need space, real space to to think beyond ourselves, and even beyond our daily life, being like a interplanetary species. We really want to know really how life started on Earth. We want to know all these things, and the more we know, the more we develop, and the more we address challenges. Because I think that we at least sometimes need to really have something to think of that is beyond our human life to really to develop ourselves. So it's really fantastic to really to have really knew Elon Musk from the beginning, because it was like a miracle. It was something that nobody believed it would be possible. So I think we what is happening, we are like we're starting to have like web that like in near future people are going to Mars. It's still something that is shifting even from our culture, and also for our lives. Yeah, it's really interesting, fascinating to we experience all these things. And yeah, agree. Mm.
No, definitely. I think I was talking to this person recently, and there's this one new area that is coming up now. That is space influencers. So it's basically a mixture of digital influencing and then space. So it is just becoming the next big thing, and definitely after the IT industry, this will be a the next big thing for people to go after. And not only is it's the space is not only for scientists and engineers anymore, but it is also for people from from the policy background, the law background, or it
Yeah,
is also
okay.
for people from project management background, with the business background as well, and some of the artists and architectures. Obviously, the space architect as a new career is also getting involved. So just getting back to one more fun question that I have for you. So what was the science fiction movie that inspired you to be in the space sector, or anything else that inspired you to be in the space sector related to science fiction?
Yeah, so I think that like the Star Trek, I think was one of real fascinating. And but as if you go back, it's like it's like something that you was thinking that was just a movie, but we are seeing all these things happening. That's really why it's fantastic. And also, yeah, it's just really interesting to see these things happening. And yeah, for me it was really Star Trek. Yeah,
No, it
and
was
yeah,
the mission yesterday actually seemed like a sci-fi thing for
yeah,
me,
totally.
because it was like now obviously now space tourism, after a while maybe we will build more sophisticated ships, and we'll able to travel from space from here to there. So yeah, definitely I think this is the most exciting time that we are living in. And thank you so much for your time, Mr. Desire.
Mm.
And it was lovely talking to you, and I hope
Mm.
that a lot of is there a message that you want to give to the students to connect with you on LinkedIn or Instagram, just for for more information on SGSC as well?
Yeah, of course. I think that like one of the things that everyone is welcome in space. There is a lot of things to do in space, within application development missions, but also as they said, laws. So I think that we just have to follow our path and also follow the lead. And I think that this generation has a lot of things to benefit from, whether the knowledge transfer. So there is a lot of things to do, and also of course, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah, I think yeah, it's welcome. Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. Desire. Thank you for joining us today. It
yeah.
was
Thank you.
really great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Take
thanks
care.
so much. Bye. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Bye.
It's all done.